Welcome back to the Shipyard. Yes, I'm still around. Um, Teaching. First week of teaching in the books. But it was brought to my attention by a lovely email that I had not covered the USS Reliant prize pack. Somehow I missed that in my binge at the end of 2020. So here we are in August covering it. But yes, the Reliant. So it's a Miranda class. It's 2233. Does it need to be recosted? Absolutely. It's double crew, double weapon. It is representative of Khan's Reliant because it is independent, which is interesting. I would like to see more ships like this: Independent Defiant, Borg Enterprise E, Ferengi Enterprise D, Kazon Voyager, etc. There's a whole lot more we could go with that. We could even get a Klingon Enterprise D. Anyways, perhaps a video for another day. The named ability here: when attacking with your primary weapon during the modify attack dice step, you may disable any number of your active shields to re-roll a number of your active attack dice equal to the number of shields you disabled. Not a great ability, not the worst ability, but just losing your shields just to re-roll dice. It works really well in certain scenarios when you are, say, one-on-one. You have a shot, they don't, so you can really control this, and you know you're not taking damage. Aside from that, you really need a way to re-enable your shields instantly, and those ways are few and far between. So, plus, I think they're typically tech. It is nice with some weapons because a lot of the photon torpedoes maybe have built-in quality, but they don't have rerolls because you're spending your target lock. So that's some way you can look at this, but ultimately this is a ship that needs to cost less in order for it to be viable at all. Maneuver dial's nice, firing arc's nice, 180 forward, 90 rear. Really is a prime candidate for secondary weapons, especially with those 2 attack dice. And Sakona as a crew, discounting all of them. 12-point generic is nice, but being down at a crew weapon, it is something to note that the generic version is Federation. There was no generic independent version. Bit of a bummer there. I would have liked to have seen a generic independent, but it was only the Reliant that ever was captured by Khan. It wasn't a generic Miranda class. So I understand the thematicism there. All right. Khan Singh. You may use any upgrades without paying a faction penalty. A, fantastic. B, breaks penalty pure. So, problems there. Up to 3 of the upgrades you purchase for your ship cost exactly 4 points and are placed face down beside your ship. Also, very interesting. Lots of ways to mess with that. Each upgrade remains face down until you decide to use it. Even better, they can't be messed with things like Gen Cisco, Koth. And then it's turned face up for the rest of the game. The printed cost on those upgrades cannot be greater than 6. So, right, there's no bringing chronoton torpedoes on board. But you can do things like bring in photon torpedoes or quantum torpedoes, right? Say quantums. Those cost a lot. Bring them in. They're good. Bring in projected stasis field. Bring in a lot of crew. Some really expensive crew. Now you're hiding them. Nanclis is a nice surprise with this. SETI Eel. SETI Eel is mean. SETI Eel is a nice card to hide underneath Khan, too. During the combat phase, you may discard this card, target a ship within range to 3. When it is that ship's turn to attack, and force that ship to either. So you're targeting them the moment it's their turn to attack. Then they get to choose. Attack any ship of your choice in its firing arc and within range. Okay, fine. Not perform its attack and disable the captain. Kind of annoying. Or perform its attack as normal and discard its captain. The target ship must choose one of these options. So probably the safest play is number 2. Give up the attack, disable the captain. But number 1 has some viability. It's just being told who to shoot can be annoying. But if you bring SETI EO, you might bring some of those reflexive abilities. Bring in the AMAR so you can get that trigger damage. Bring in a very defensive sponge. Right, this is kind of like having your own colo or defensive core that forces the targeting. Bring in that Sutherland Dreadnought. Bring in an improved deflector screen build, and SETI EO just basically waste an attack. So it's something that's out there. All right, fire. Another 6-point elite. This was the days of really overcosted cards. SETI EO, I think, is kind of fair cost. Fire is not. When attacking with your primary weapon during the roll attack dice step, you may discard this card to gain +2 attack dice. If you do so, you can re-roll up to 2 of your attack dice and then place an Ox power token beside your ship. If you didn't place the Ox, I might understand the 6-point cost. As it is, this is something I would want to use with secondary weapons, but I can't because it's when attacking with primary weapons. And now that rule of 3 is a thing, I just feel kind of stuck. I could see this being used on like a Harvester Prime build. Mess with shields a lot. And then get 1 turn to fire off a huge attack. And hopefully catch them with their proverbial pants down. Same with the projected stasis field build, right? It's that same idea. You want to hit harder, you want to make that attack count. But it just feels like there's better ways to make that first attack count, or make all attacks count, not just one. So that's kind of my take. All right, all power to phasers. This is a weapon. 5 points. When attacking with your primary weapon during the roll attack dice step, you may discard this card to gain +2 attack dice. Okay, handcuffs and 2 attack dice, 5 points. But if you do so, you must disable all your remaining shields. Okay, I can do that if I have no shields. That's the one benefit. But still, it just hurts. No one talks about this card. It still falls under rule of 3. Limit primary weapon. It hurts. And it's a discard. It's a 5-point discard weapon. I just... No. All right. Joachim. Action. Discard. To add +3 to your captain skill until the end phase. If you attack first in the combat phase as a result of this, you can convert a hit into a crit. Oh. Static captain skill is given out for cheaper. And this is a passive ability is given out. Right. This without action discard and then get rid of the conditional if, just make it convert a hit into a crit. So this would be a +3 to your to all captains, but +3 to independent type thing, right? We've seen that. And then convert a hit into a crit as a 5-point crew. That would be a fantastic ability. That's something you might actually consider running. As it is, just too much. Run the other Joachim, right? Or Joachim. Run run this one, which is a point cheaper, and each time you inflict a crit on an enemy ship's hull, you can draw 2 damage cards and choose the one that you want. Alright, there wasn't a lot to this pack. Do you have to go chase it down? No. If you have it, I think it's cool. This Hide Con is useful. That's really the best card in this pack. SETI Eel, also useful. You don't need to track these things down. SETI Eel is probably an allowable proxy in most places. It's not going to break the game, but it's out there, and I like it. Mess around with it in home games. Mess around with this con in home games. I don't think anybody's going to go, "Oh, con, that's cheating." No, con's just having fun. All right. Overall, pack's kind of a but that's okay. It was a prize pack. Didn't need to be great. Probably good that it wasn't great. All right. That's it for me. Thanks all for watching. Until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.